Students, let us continue our lesson Fibers to Fabric. In the last class, we learned that what is weaving and how to weave in paper, right? Yes, today we will learn what is weaving and knitting, okay? Dear students, after making yarn from the cotton, it is a process to make fabric. Okay, from yarn. We need to make, there are different kinds of method of fabrics from yarn. In this lesson, we shall learn what is weaving and knitting. Let us understand with the activity. Activity is nothing but weaving in paper that we did in the last class, right? We weaved in paper, right? I hope you all understood how to weave in paper. It was interesting and fun, right? Yes. So dear students, what is weaving? The process of arranging two sets of yarn to make a fabric is called as weaving. The process of arranging two sets of yarn to make fabric is called weaving. It is very difficult to weave with hand. To make it simple, we use hand loom. Dear students, you can see the second picture, right? This is known as hand loom. A loom is a structure which is used to give support to weave. A tightly held thread and yarn strung over the loom vertically is known as wrap thread or yarn thread. Another thread which is drawn through the thread and under the wrap thread is known as weft thread or weft yarn. With weft thread, it is possible to create different kinds of patterns and design to weave, and therefore different designs in fabric. In handloom, weft thread is inserted by hand. However, use of machines helps us to make the process faster. Dear students, did you understand how the weaving handloom works? You can see the vertical lines where the arrow is being placed, right? That is known as wrap thread or wrap yarn. The one which is designed or which is wrapped upon the wrap thread, that is weft thread. What is it called? Weft thread. Okay, students, we get different designs through weft thread. We can make different designs through weft thread or yarn. Did you understand? The next one is knitting. What do you mean by knitting? The process of making a fabric by locking the loops of a single yarn with the help of needle or machine is known as knitting. Dear students, what did you understand by this? It is a fabric by locking a loop of single yarn. In knitting, we use single yarn with the help of needle or machine is known as knitting. Dear students, here is the yarn and the needle. With the help of this, they make different kinds of patterns and design, as you can see in the picture, right? Yes. You might have observed your mother or your grandmother or any elder ones using this yarn and a needle and make some designs or sweaters for you, right? Yes, these gives different kinds of patterns and designs. Do you know what is the difference between weaving and knitting? Weaving needs two threads, that is two yarns, and knitting need a single yarn with the help of needle. Knitting helps in making sweaters, socks, and many kinds of designs. Okay, students? Yes, these are the few structures of knitting. Dear students, let us go to the next topic, history of clothing material. Have you ever wondered what material people used in ancient times for clothes? It appears that in those times people used bark and big leaves for trees or animal skin and fur to cover themselves. People learned to weave twigs and grasses into mats and baskets. While animal fleece or hair were twisted together into long strands. These were woven into fabrics. In the early Indians wore fabrics made out of cotton that grew in region near river Ganga. Flax. What do you mean by flax? Flax is also a plant that gives natural fibers. In ancient Egypt, cotton as well as flax were cultivated near the river Nile and they were used for making fabrics. Dear students, nowadays we have variety of fabrics, right? Yes. In those days, stitching was not known. People simply draped the fibers around their parts of their body. Many different ways of draping fabric were used. Nowadays, with an invention of sewing needle, people started stitching fabrics to make clothes. Stitching clothes have gone through many variations since this invention, right? There is a large variety in food eaten all over our country. A large variety exists also in fabrics and clothing items. As you can all see that we have a large variety of fabrics, fibers and so on. Right? Yes. Moving to the last one, let us see what we all learned in the process of fabric. First, we take the cotton rolls, then we do ginning, that is separating seeds and cotton. Then that comes under fiber. After fiber, we convert them into yarn. From yarn to make a fabric, we convert them into knitting and weaving. I hope you all have understood this process or this chapter. Here we complete our chapter. Thank you, class. Enjoy learning.